Embryo is a 1976 bio-horror film where a scientist attempts to manipulate the forces of life itself and create something more than human, something beautiful, brilliant, and deadly. Directed by Ralph Nelson, Embryo stars Rock Hudson, Barbara Carrera, and Diane Ladd. On a dark and stormy night, a long-grieving researcher attempts to save a pregnant Doberman pinscher. He's not able to save the mama dog, but he is able to save one of her embryos using his long-abandoned research. As a side effect, the puppy is fully grown in a matter of days. Galvanized by his success, the scientist resumes his research and attempts a human trial to create the daughter his late wife and he never had. The human child grows too quickly, and soon he's got a full-grown woman in his lab, Victoria, with a child's curiosity, an adult's desires, and sociopathic tendencies. She's a secret that can't stay secret for long, not with a suspicious sister-in-law in the house and a cellular metabolism that's a ticking time bomb. How long will Victoria live, and who will she kill to stay alive? Movie fans can likely see parallels to Frankenstein, the 1818 Mary Shelley novel that many critics consider the birth of science fiction. German horror readers may also recognize a similar mad science tale, Allrone, the 1911 novel by Hans Heinz Ewers, about a soulless woman created by impregnating a prostitute with extract of mandrake root. That particular novel has been adapted several times for European film audiences. Embryo happened to be released during a banner year for evil baby stories. The Omen hit theaters in 1976, while American TV audiences had another Son of Satan to watch in the TV movie sequel to Rosemary's Baby. The adaptation of the novel Demon Seed, where a woman is involuntarily impregnated by a supercomputer, was also in production, timed for an April 1977 release. But of all these stories, Embryo speaks the most directly to the nation's post-Roe v. Wade anxiety of the time, given how much of Embryo's plot depends on manipulating fetuses for scientific advancement. And yet, this movie isn't so interested in ethical debates as it is at just looking for the most shocking things it can put on screen. So, here's the stats for the sickos. There's at least 4 corpses on screen, depending on your criteria, 2 bloody surgeries, and several exposed fetuses, human and canine. The opening canine cesarean is the most convincing sequence in the film, but that's on a sliding scale. This movie has the historical distinction of having Rock Hudson's first ever big screen nude scene, which he shares with Barbara Carrera. Yes, starting around minute 69, the scientist ends up having sex with his creation, going where My Fair Lady never did. There's enough shadows and gauze over their bodies to qualify for PG in 1976. The concepts of external gestation chambers and controlled aging through hormonal therapies have a foothold in real-world science, but what gets seen on screen looks cheap, really cheap. The science is mostly communicated through Rock Hudson's narration. There's at least 20 minutes of the scientist reciting his notes over a montage of him mad sciencing his heart out. That's probably when he's his most convincing. Both Hudson and Carrera show why they were a good match for their roles, but they also have their moments when they swing for the fences and it goes a bit wide. Diane Ladd's a bit more consistent, and Roddy McDowall's cameo in the chess game scene starting at minute 63 might be the best fit for this movie. It's hammy in all the right ways. The best performance, however, has to be from the dog who plays experiment number 1, and in a double role, her own mother. This dog is brilliant, loyal, conniving, savage, and also managed to have the funniest scene in the movie. Horror movie funny, anyway. Embryo's distributor, Cine Arts Productions, had high hopes for this film. It marked Rock Hudson's big screen return following the completion of his TV series, Macmillan and Wife, and it would be the first leading role for rising star Barbara Carrera. Director Ralph Nelson had previously directed projects like Requiem for a Heavyweight, Lilies of the Field, and another next-day sci-fi film, 1968's Charlie, all films that had resulted in award-winning performances for their leads. Embryo did not have the same experience. It was savaged by critics, came and went from theaters, and would be the last Cine Arts release. The company would shut down before renewing the film's copyright, placing Embryo in the public domain. Barbara Carrera would be nominated for a Saturn Awards Golden Scroll for her Embryo performance. She would play another scientific experiment the following year in The Island of Dr. Moreau with bigger box office success. Carrera would play more conventionally exotic beauties throughout the 80s, including in such films as Never Say Never Again and Lone Wolf McQuade. Anita Doohan was a producer on the film. She also wrote the updated draft from the 1962 original Jack W. Thomas screenplay. She would continue writing for film and TV, but Embryo would be her sole outing as a producer. As serious as this movie attempts to take itself, it works best as an exploitation film, using a provocative topic and some shocking scenes and visuals to sell tickets, and it's got a patented exploitation twist ending. It's at least 25 minutes too long, but it has an interesting gothic/sci-fi mood, some decent performances from some beautiful people, and the concept might even inspire some post-film conversation. But to get the most out of this movie, pay attention to the dog. This dog is so well trained and used so well to illuminate Victoria's story that even with the scary bits, this movie might make you root for the Doberman.